Hello, welcome to I Love Stocks, and today we're going to talk about the medical marijuana sector. As you know, it took a pretty big hit here in the last week due to CANN. CANN violated regulations and caused this company to dip real hard. I mean real hard. It's one of the top pot stocks that I've been watching for a while, CANN. But what's this mean to investors? Well, right now they had some grow rooms that they had back in 2018, 2019 that weren't licensed and weren't regulated. So the regulations in Canada got onto them, and ever since then, this pot stock's pulled back. Also, brought some more controversy last week was the government. Republicans and Democrats agree the landmark hearing that U.S. marijuana laws are a mess, and they're wanting to regulate them, and so they're having a war between bringing it. The Republicans want to make it a state-to-state mandate, and the Democrats want to nationalize and make it a national law. So they're turned into a race card. So who knows how long this is going to last. I mean, this is what really will cut the deal for the stocks to really bounce back if they do pass a regulatory national law. Even if it's state by state, as long as they can put that mandate out there, this sector, and I'd rather see it go state to state. It's the way most of our laws have been in the past, but they want it to be a federal regulation, which I can see that too. But you know, every time government gets involved, it's usually messed up. So let's first talk about the watch list. I created a nice little watch list that I've been having on here for a while. You can see that it's mostly red. ACB on top with the volume. It had a pretty hard sell-off. CGC, CTST, CRON, HEXO, MJNA. All these ones that I have with the volume highs are really the ones I like to pay attention to. And then they go down, the lower they go, the lower volume there is, the less volatility that can happen. But this is my watch list here. You're willing to go ahead and stop it at any time. That's fine with me. Copy and paste these things down, add them to your watch list. But it's good to keep these down in sectors. And we're going to talk about the first one, and that's going to be CANN. So let's put this thing up here. You can see it took a real hard hit in the last 5 days. Bam, 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 with a big gap down. Now this, you could tell this was going to be another sell-off candle right here on the daily, and then she kind of topped off here at a T, but then right the next day it went ahead and sold off again, and then we finally had a small little candle right here, which I would call almost a spinning top on a yearly daily chart with a low of 250. So I think it still can drop a little bit more. We're going to pull up the 20 day. I have a low support right now at 252. You notice that was the year low. I like to see some kind of fish hook pattern, and I want to let you know the chart that I'm using today is called the TTM squeeze. It's one that I've previously used a lot. It's great for beginners. It tells you when something's hot, and it tells you when it's not. Also, I have my moving averages on here, the 9, the 34, and the 200 EMA, and I'll be using them as resistance levels. I like to see it respect that 9, bounce above that 9, and cross over that 34 for a swing trade. But if it starts to respect the 9 come Monday morning, I'll use this as a scalp trade. CTST. You notice it's down over 100% from the $5 high, which we did have a 550 high on the 20-day 1 hour chart. Now she's pulled back to 250, and we're at 256. So the bears are still on this because of the bad news. It could have a reversal, and I'll be scalping some of these pot stocks. I won't fully invest until I see that 9 cross over the 34 and start to beat up on that 200. And that might be sooner than later. So actually I'm going to put more strength on it crossing that 34 EMA. And the shorts will have to cover sooner or later. You know, same thing happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin had that $20,000 run, and then it pulled all the way back lower than 5,000. but these are two different sectors, and they're run by two different. And Bitcoin's not regulated like marijuana, medical marijuana stock is going to be. But it's in the laws, and the government's talking about it, so that's the good thing. Let's talk about another one right now. That's CTST. Like I said, if I want to see a reversal, I want to see the 9 EMA crossing that 34 on the daily 1 minute. Let's look at the daily, by the way. We did start to cross it a little bit after hours. It did have a high of right around the 261 area. I'll buy 1,000 shares or 500 shares at a time of this trade and try to bring it up to a resistance level of right around the 268. If at 268 breaks, we can bring it back up to 280 to 287. And then I'll just keep on watching this trade. But we are at a yearly bottom right now. We did hit that 250. If it pulls back, and I don't want to, if it goes below that 250, let's look for $2 for our next support level. But this stock's in bad trouble. It can dip more. And who knows, it might get delisted. I wouldn't doubt it one bit, really, after what they've been through. So the next one we're going to look at is going to be ACB. This is one of our most popular stocks in the room. We're going to pull up the yearly. Called this out perfect on the bounce. There had a yearly low of 405. Resistance to break was at 467. Once it did that, it ran all the way up to 1258. It's got some, now this is one of my favorite profitable maybe pot stocks that are in this sector right now. She did pull back in that December sell-off last year. You remember that when the SPY dipped on down about 60 bucks and then retraced back up. So here we are. We hit that low at double bottom. She bounced up and hit a high of right around the 1019 area, and then she's pulled back and we're at 677. We still have more room to fall on this trade. I'm going to be looking at it also. You see the 9's not respecting the 200 or the 34. It's dipped on down a little more in the last week. Let's pull this up to a 20-day. This is one of my, like I said, one of my most respected pot plays. We got to break a resistance of 712. Right now we're sitting down here at a low of 674, and we can go lower on it. So I'm going to pull back that I don't want to see it go. No, I don't think we're going to see 467 on it. We'll probably see an equilibrium right here, right around the 620 area. I would say we've already hit the pivot point of the year, and that was up here at 712. But the 712 did get hurt last Friday, and she did pull back under it. So we can hit a support level at 619. That's going to be my second support. I'm going to color that in with red. Then I'll know where I am. But that's going to be my second support. The first one's going to be right around 650. And then the third's going to be in this channel area right down here at 538 to 569. I think it can retrace back here off that 619 area. So let's go to the next one. We're going to talk about CGC. This is another popular stock. You know, the CEO got fired from this job, or he resigned. It did pull back off that news pretty hard. Dropped $6 last week. Let's pull up the 20-day. We had a high up here right around the 44.60 area with a high of 45.25, and she's been in the red ever since with a couple of retracement bounces, which they can be pretty generous on this trade. This one here catches momentum and starts to form a fish hook and starts to bounce back up. We can see probably resistance levels of 35.25 and maybe 36.65, and then you're willing to stop these tapes at any time. Did have a negative earnings. It came out last week, and she did kind of pull back off that. So let's see what happens. This is right now it's sitting at 34.21, and that's where it closed at. Next one this is CGC, one of my probably top 2 to 3 stocks that I watch. I also watch, there we already talked about CTST. That's the leader of the downturn here. Next one is CRON, one of probably my third favorite play, from ACB to CGC, and here we are at CRON. CRON's pulled back pretty hard. We have had a bullish call on this thing to go back to 20 bucks. We were up here at the 1690 area, around 1680, but she pulled back with all the other sectors in this sector. Right now we're going to pull up the 1 year. We've got a low support. We've already busted past the equilibrium of the pivot point, and that's where we are right now here at 1409. If it goes below that, we can see support level of right around $13 for a low, with your second support right here at around $13.49. Magnify this up a little bit. You're willing to stop these at any time. Right now we were in a pretty respectable area, but she's pulled back. The 9's pulled back, crossed down below that 34. It can cross down over the 200. If not, it starts to turn back up. We're going to get respect again on that 9 EMA. We'll pull up the daily 1 minute. That's on the yearly. Right now we are respecting it after hours. As you can see, we've got the 20, the 34, and the 9 with a high of right around 1432. But we can hit a low down here again at 1410, and remember $13 is my low support on CRON. That's CRON. The next one we're going to talk about is going to be HEXO. HEXO's took a pretty good hit. She was up here at 520. Excuse me. 520 up here at a high, and she pulled back, lost probably about 40 cents, 35 cents Friday, with a low right here around 481. So let's pull up the 20-day, see what the 20-day, or pull up the year on HEXO. Take another good look at this thing. Yeah, we got more room. This thing can come down, and look at the hard hit it's had from 840 all the way to 485. I see a low support right down here at 456, and maybe another one right in here right around 419 area. I'm telling you, this thing can probably drop down to 419 this week and then start to retrace. We did have a 302 low on it with a 840 high, so it was just run. It had a nice little run, and she's pulled back here in the last couple of months, and we had to break a resistance level right here, right around 707 to get up to that 840 area. So we pulled back to about 419 is going to be my low call on this one here, with the 456, and then we're sitting right here at first support level at 481. That's going to be HEXO, HEXO. MJNA is one of my favorite penny stocks that I've played. We had a double bottom here right around 479 with a 441 low. This can run back up to 6 cents. That would be a pretty good little resistance area, 6 cents, and anything above that's going to be a gift. So if you can get in this trade at 479, take it to about 546, and maybe hit a resistance level of 596, you'll be doing pretty good with this trade. 10,000 shares, $600 investment, $480 investment will net you $100. So you know, you can buy 20,000. That's probably how I would trade this trade. Maybe even a little bit more. It depends on the momentum. I always look at the level 2. I always look at the time in sales, and I've always got that news ticker up there to see if anything pops up that'll bring this sector down or bring it up. But I'm always watching that tape and seeing how big the green blocks are coming in. You know, the money is where the maker is. The people put the money in, and the level 2 spread starts to tighten up, starts to widen, starts to get real volatile. I'll be watching this trade. This is MJNA, and the next one we're going to talk about is going to be KALY. I like KALY. KALY is one of my favorite CBD plays. Right now it's had a pretty hard little sell-off. We hit a resistance level up here right around the 22 cent area. Ever since then, it's pulled back in the last 3 months. We got a double bottom right here, right around 7.2. I called this trade out right here, and she ran all the way up to 12 to 13 cents and then pulled on back. So if we see that again, that's going to be a real strong support, a really strong support. 0.0072 on KALY. That's going to be a strong buy area, very strong. You might not see it. You might get in at 8 cents, or yeah, 0.008. We want to bring this back to penny land. That's my support right here, penny land. That's going to be what I would call a pivot point. On anything above that is going to be your start taking your profit. And I've got different resistances on this. We like to see 13 and maybe 14, and just goes up in increments like that. That's KALY. That's one of my favorite CBD companies. Let's see what else. PURA's down to 6.1. It's also took a rough beating here. PURA will fall when the sector is not doing well. It's had some issues here lately. I got a low support at 5.78 to a retracement bounce of right around 7.28, somewhere in that area. But right now, we're going to pull this up to the daily. Low support is going to be right around the 6 cents area for now, and it can run up to 7 to 8 cents. But PURA, I'm kind of not as bullish on it as I am by far with KALY. And they're both of these two companies are related. They're brothers and sisters. And then we're going to be talking about one more here. Let's see if I can find one more on my watch list that I really like. You know, Tillery. Yeah, let's bring up Tillery. Tillery's one that ran up to 100. I was playing this thing, and then it took a very drastic sell-off Friday, as you can see, from 45 all the way down here to 43.13. So that's a $2 dip on Tillery. I think it'll also fall with the sector. I'm probably my fourth or fifth bullish trade stock here right now. We did have a 51.03 high 20 days ago, and we pulled back almost $7 on this trade. I see a support level also right here at 41.67. We do have an ascending breakout right here, as you can see the chart pattern says, and we had a big old break on it. Same thing here, we got a descending pattern. So this stock Friday had a descending pattern and can drop down to this 41.67 with a low support of 38.94, and that's Tillery. I'm keeping all these on watch. The TTM's starting to turn up on it, which I do like. So, well, that's it for I Love Stocks. You're willing to go ahead and stop this video at any time and write down this sector watch list that I have. I always look at the highest volume first. I can pull up the percentage ones that got beat up. CTST got beat up Friday with a 17% dip. CGC down 7. So these have been taking some pretty good hits. CANN, that's another one that I used to play a lot. Let's pull this one up on a yearly. We had a yearly high on CANN at 4.51. Now we're back under $1 on this trade. We're down here at 80 cents with a low of 73. We have a resistance we got to break right at 94, and we got to bring it back up to this here support level of 151. You can see she took a dive right there, and this is one that I also like to watch. I mean, I was playing the heck out of it a couple years ago. Very good volatile stock, but she definitely pulled back during that December month, during the last 3 months of 2018. Recovered for the first couple, and then she's pulled back to a 73-cent low, and now we're sitting at 80 cents with 2 green candles at the end there. The squeeze is starting to turn up, start to kick in, so this could be a retracement bounce back up to at least this resistance of 94. This thing's got to get back above $1. It is an OTC stock though. You just got to be careful in this sector. I wish everybody a great week. Also, I'd like for you to, and you know, I talk about, me and Vegas are on channel all day long. I'm talking about my strategies. She's talking about options. She's also an options trader, and she's been doing very well in that. The room as a whole has a lot of good traders in there, You can always follow us here on Twitter. Hit that follow button. Vegas posts all kinds of alerts in here during the day. Talks about her calls that she does in options, and we had a couple real calls last week. We had that BA call, and then just many good calls last week. With the way the market's been, last week was a good week. So, and also, we have our Stock Twits page here. You can always follow us there. Hit that follow button. It'll take us straight to our Stock Twits page. And just want to leave on that note, and everybody have a great week this coming week. Keep the marijuana sector on watch. We are starting to hit a place where I think we can start to turn around, and the shorts will start to cover soon. And just leave with the final note of I love stocks.